All right, it's now time for some athletics here on the SportsMax Zone. We're starting this segment with news from Hungary, where a number of Caribbean-based stars were in action at the Istvan July Memorial Hungarian Grand Prix. Here are the results from the day's action. So let's take a look now at the 100 meters. Do we have that graphic? All right, so for the women, we have Tamari Davis, Sia Clayton, Crystal Slowly, Natasha Morrison, and Tina Clayton. All right, now in the 200 meters, Julian Alfred with a 22.16, Daryl Nita, Lene Teva Thomas, Natasha Morrison, and Shericka Jackson with 36.29. In the long jump women now, these are the results. Natalia Linares, 6.87, Achilles Smith from Jamaica, 6.83, and Quanisha Burks from the USA. In the men's 100 meter, no surprise there, Kashane Thompson of Jamaica in 9.91, Leslie Tebogo with 9.99 in second position, and of course rounding out the top in seventh position, yeah, we have two Jamaicans there, Rohan Watson and Michael Campbell, 10.15 and 10.28. Now in the men's 200 meter, Andrew DeGrasse from Canada, 19.98. Then Andrew Hodson in second, Kendall Williams from the USA in third. In the 400 meter men final, Stephen Gardiner from the Bahamas, 44.50. In second position, Sean Bailey from Jamaica, note the time, 44.64, and Lyth Pillay in third. Now in the long jump men, these are the results. So we have the Jamaican who is in ninth position here. We're just focusing a bit on Tajay Gale in 7.76. We have the shot put men here, of course, Leonardo Fabry at 22.43. Jamaica, Rajendra Campbell, we've discussed him a lot here on the SportsMax Zone, 21.20. All right, so Lance, a lot of talking points from today. Let me start with the man, Kashane Thompson. No surprise there. Brilliant stuff from him. I saw a tweet earlier today, and I'd love to hear what you had to say because I sent it in the group and you didn't respond. Maybe you were editing the zone scripts. But it basically said that, imagine if Kashane Thompson, didn't look around. Do you notice in the races that when he's running, he kind of looks around to the opponents? And maybe if he focuses and he doesn't do that, then we'll get even a faster time?
Yeah, I don't like the habit, to be quite honest. I think it's his comfort that allows him the opportunity to be so relaxed and looking around. But I would prefer if he doesn't, to be honest.
But still brilliant stuff, even with looking around.
Yeah, well, that's because he's winning and he knows he's winning. And it also smacks a bit of showboating as well, just glancing across. And in today's race particular, you're talking about Letsile Tebogo and Simbini, who are world-class athletes, global medalists, and athletes who are far more advanced in their careers than he is. So to beat them the way he did with that kind of comfort, not a terribly fast time, 9:91, but it just tells you that this man is special, and I'm just so eager to see what he offers in Paris. But I'm not sure what his coach, Stephen Francis, would say to him, but I think Stephen would encourage him not to be looking around so much, because apart from taking time off your potential, best time that you could run, it can also affect the smoothness of your form
and the momentum at which you're going.
And the momentum, and because he's such an injury-prone athlete, which he has struggled with for years, I would prefer to see him have a smoother stride toward the finish without glancing around.
Yeah, what about that time from Julian Alfred today? No surprise, have to say.
Well, it was a surprise because she beat Shericka Jackson, who was the favorite for the race. So.
Yeah, well, we have to talk about what happened with Shericka Lance. But we did, okay, let me rephrase that because, of course, I'm on television and this can be used against me. Shericka Jackson was, of course, the favorite in a lot of people's eyes. But we have to mention the situation today. Not a good situation because, you know, she looks like she was hurt. Things to be worried about because she has, and we spoke about that, she has been carrying a niggle for some time. So when I saw her at the Jamaica trials, I felt like, okay, I can breathe easy now because she looks fit and fine. But then what we saw today, just a couple days before the Olympics lands, is worrying. So as a result of that, Julian Alfred was able to step in and, of course, win.
Yeah. So Shericka Jackson was leading at the point at which she felt something, and it didn't look overly painful. So I'm hoping that she felt something that may have been slight because her reaction doesn't suggest that it was terrible pain. Here she is in front, but at this point she grimaces and she steps off the gas and doesn't run through. Alfred was running really, really well and was right by her shoulder.
So that's why I got the opportunity.
Yes, so she was pressuring Shericka Jackson. Good on Julian Alfred that she ran a season's best 22.16 in an event that she has publicly said that she likes less than the 100 meters. So a good win here by Alfred. And although the world champion and fastest woman alive over 200 meters suffers an injury here and makes the headlines, no praise is too high for the kind of performance that Julian Alfred put down and made a good run here in this half-lap sprint, her fastest time so far this season.
Yeah, really top stuff as usual from Julian Alfred. And of course, our thoughts and prayers go out to Shericka Jackson because come Paris 2024, really hoping that she can be fit and fine and ready to go for her country, Jamaica. Well, let's now speak a little bit about the upcoming Paris Olympic Games as reports emerging out of France say unions representing workers at Paris airports have called for a strike the week before the Paris Olympics over a dispute about bonuses for staff. These unions represent workers at main gateway airports for foreign visitors coming into France. So, Lance, this would be some disturbing news as we get ready for the Paris Olympics 2024 because people may say, okay, this might not affect the process, but for me it does because a lot of the international athletes, the airports are going to be extremely busy, and at a time like this to be reporting news such as this is a bit disturbing. And I just want to say that this news has been coming to the forefront for some time. Once the Paris 2024 Olympics was announced, I think those in charge made provisions for like police officers, even garbage collectors. I was listening to a report on France 24, so that they get an increase in salaries for this period because, you know, you're going to have to amp up your police service. Garbage collectors are going to have a lot more work to do. So as a result of this, different sectors now are, of course, calling for an increase. But, you know, with everything like this, financial constraints, government, and anybody in charge can only do so much. So I think I'm getting an idea as to why this strike is coming to the forefront, because if you can give money to you, then you can give some to me too, right?
Yeah, and we understand that industrial actions tend to be more profound and pronounced when the timing is effective. And the French government, I'm sure, wants no bad press or anything impeding the smooth running of the Olympic Games. And this is a couple of weeks before the Olympics start, so they would want to ensure that they don't have this kind of negative situation developing ahead of the Games and the world's arrival in Paris, because it is getting up to the time when teams will begin arriving in Paris, and it is very clear that, you know, there are other people who are assigned to the Olympic duties who would probably be there already.
Yeah, and then remember the Olympic Village opens on July 18.
Yes.
So that's when you're going to have a rush of athletes and stuff coming to the country, because we're talking Olympics and we're thinking about the date, which is the 27th, right?
26th is the opening ceremony. Yeah.
Right, 26th. But things happen way before that in the land. So we just have to remember that. So right now is peak period because a lot of people are trying to get in, not be involved in the hustle and the bustle when it comes July 18. So I think the timing of this strike and the timing of this call for bonuses is very, very strategic. But I'm just hoping that, you know, Paris and the officials and the government can sort this out so we can have a smooth Paris 2024.
I remember this happening in Athens as well, 2004, ahead of the Athens Olympic Games. There were workers who were threatening strikes as well. So this is not a completely new phenomena, but we'd like to see things straightened out before.
Yeah, well, the Olympic Games, as you know, will be live on your home of champions, and here is a public advisory. All public viewing events showcasing the Olympic Games Paris 2024 must obtain clearance and approval from IMC International Media Content Limited, that's SportsMax, before moving to delivery or promotion of the events. Any unauthorized use of the Olympics content or public screening events shall be subject to legal action by SportsMax. Right, so those of you, be sure to take that notice very, very seriously. And since we're on the topic now of the Olympics, it's time for our weekly Olympic build-up feature. That's Eyes on Paris. That's our Tuesday feature. And Gerard Morrisili, he gives us the rundown.
Keeping you up to date on all things Olympics, this is Eyes on Paris. We start with news from basketball. Spain, Greece, Brazil, and Puerto Rico secured the final 4 spots in the 2024 Paris Olympics men's competition after successful FIBA Olympic qualifying campaigns at the weekend. Spain and Greece now join Australia and the FIBA World Cup champions Canada in Group A, while Brazil are in Group B with France, Germany, and Japan, and Puerto Rico featuring in Group C alongside Serbia, South Sudan, and favorites USA. News from Trinidad and Tobago, the Brydens Group has officially signed Jareen "The Dream" Richards as a corporate brand ambassador ahead of the Paris 2024 Games. This adds to what is already an exciting season for Richards, a 3-time Olympian who claimed victory in the National Championships men's 400 meters last month at the Hasely Crawford Stadium. TT Olympic Committee TTOC President Diane Henderson is backing the Twin Island Republic's team to make the nation proud at the Paris Games. Henderson maintains that the team's chances are, quote, as good as any, and is confident that TIT has enough quality athletes to cop medals at this summer's Olympiad. This has been Eyes on Paris. Until next time, au revoir.